Looking at the Epstein files and this whole scenario that's unfolded, I've been wondering why the powers that be have decided to release these files at this time. Because everything is orchestrated and planned. So it's not that they've just been put under pressure and they've had to release them. That's not what I believe to be true. I believe because these crimes that were committed, these horrendous crimes against young women and children, were committed between 15 and 30 years ago. So why are they suddenly being published and publicized now? Now, we are in a very powerful time. We're in a massive collective awakening, an expansion of collective consciousness and personal growth, right? There's a lot of power happening, available to us to be harnessed at this time. Now, if we are completely distracted and focusing on the negative aspects of male sexuality, which is a very powerful energy. So male sexuality has been so judged and shamed and disgraced, almost like it just cannot be trusted. So, of course, these things did happen, yeah? And there is a massive shadow in the male collective consciousness and sexuality. But I do feel like there's a link, there's a connection between these files being released at this time and the judgment of male sexuality, like the encouragement of us perceiving male sexuality as dangerous. Because what that does is it makes us afraid of men. And it makes men repress their primal power. It makes men repress their sexuality, their primal force, their erotic power, which also holds a lot of power, like it holds a lot of force. And if a man is disconnected from his primal force, he is easier to control and manipulate. And the primal power of the masculine is what will stand up to corruption, to distortion, to illusion. It's what will help us, it's the warrior spirit that will help us to birth this new world that we need, that we truly deeply need. So I'm just making that connection between now these files being released and an agenda to weaken our men, because weak men will not fight against the system and stand up and protect women and children as they are designed innately and biologically to do. They will remain passive. They will be absorbed in their emotions, like overly effeminate. And I'm not saying that men should not be connected to their emotions. Of course, that is really important. Rewilding, unlearning of all of the patriarchal programming that we've been through. And we really need men connected to their feminine, but not overly effeminate, because that makes them weak. Ultimately, they are actually designed to be protectors, to be providers. And when that's distorted, it becomes the predator energy. So the protector and the predator energy come from the same essence. One is in integrity and alignment. The other is distorted and corrupted by power, greed, ego. And one is serving others and one is taking from others for selfish reasons and self-service. So be aware of your own thought process around male sexuality, right? Because ultimately the seed of life comes from a man, the male sexuality. And we need that. We need to protect life, to create life, to birth life. We need to protect the seed of humanity and the associated power that goes along with it. The power to penetrate life, the power to protect, the power to provide, the power to be a warrior in this crazy reality that we live in. Love your men. Love your man. Love your men. I mean, love the men in your life. Love your man and the men in your life that are doing their best to show up, because this is going to have a massive impact on men and their feelings about themselves and repressing their sexuality, and we don't want that. We want men connected to their erotic power. And if you want to explore this deeper with me, this is the exact work that I do with men in my one-to-one mentorship, where we alchemize shame around sexuality and connect you back with your erotic power to really stand firm in integrity and alignment as a sacred masculine.